So they are the payoff of asset AB when E happens. This is a payoff of asset AB when E doesn't happen. And if we divide the element in the matrix with 100, it becomes a return per dollar payoff. And our goal is to create an asset base only 100 when E happens. So then we can set up systems of equation. Okay, if we invest XA and XB in A and B respectively, then when E happens, earthquake happens, our position is alpha 1 over 100 XA plus beta 1 over 100 XB, and we want to make 100. And when earthquake doesn't happen, the payoff from our position is alpha 2 over 100 XA plus beta 2 over 100 XB, and we want to make it 0 because it is a product. Financial contract base 100 only when earthquake happens, right? And then we can solve it by hand, but to make it more compact, we can set up a matrix formation. It will look like this one, right? And we can apply inverse matrix this part each side, and we have this one, so we have a solution X and XB. So XA, if we invest 1 over D beta 2 10-fourths in A and 1 over D minus alpha 2 10-fourths, then we can create exactly this earthquake insurance that pays only 100 when earthquake happens. And then the value of this contract is simply sum of XA and XB, because this is the amount I pay in each asset to create this contract, this insurance. Therefore, the value of this insurance should be XA plus XB, which is 1 over D. This is beta 2 minus alpha 2 10-fourths divided by D, right? So we solved this 1 and 2. Now third one is we want to create risk-free asset, right? We want to create risk-free asset, and they want to know the continuous compounded return rate of this risk-free rate. Risk-free rate means that it has to pay you same amount whatever happens, right? Same amount whatever happens, which is $1 whatever happens. So we can change it simply this part, right? 1 1, right? $1, right? Risk-free rate. So whatever happens, I receive $1, then it is risk-free asset, right? 1 year later. So it is 1 year later, so risk-free asset. Right? Again, we can solve this problem. Nothing difficult about this one. Right? Right? We can change this one. So again, 1 1. Well, now we have to change this part. Right? Then 1 1. So what happens? This is the minus beta 2 minus delta beta, right? And then this one, so minus delta alpha. Here delta beta is beta 1 minus beta 2, and then delta alpha is alpha 1 minus alpha 2. Okay. Yeah? Ah, right. There should be 100. Right? Now 100. And this delta is simply, I'm using this notation. I'm using the notation that delta beta is simply beta 2 minus beta 1. Right, if I define this, it is plus. Right, beta 2 and then minus delta alpha is same to alpha 2 minus alpha 1. Then so therefore the value of this risk-free asset is simply right 100 if we add them all, delta beta minus delta alpha over D, right? So it's value of risk-free. So if you invest this amount, you will get $1, whatever happens. Right? Easily, yeah. Whatever happens. So risk-free rate, you invest this amount today and you receive $1 later on. So basically, can I okay, so to return risk-free rate is basically, well, now inverse of this one, D over 100 delta beta minus delta alpha, right? So it means if you invest this money, you will receive $1 whatever happens, which means that if you invest inverse of this one, if you invest this one, you will receive if you invest $1 today, then whatever happens, you receive this amount later. So it is gross return, and we want to make it continuous compounding. So we learn continuous compounding. We can simply take log of this RF. We can simply take log, and if time to maturity T, one can divide by T. So this is the answer. Right? So if this is P, price of the risk-free asset, or it is Ln minus LNP, which is same to minus LNP, and then divided by T. Here, of course, T is 1, so actually this is the answer, basically. Or this is the answer, so same, right? Log. You will run the log, right? If you invest $1, then at the end of period, you receive this, so it is gross return. And if you want to make it continuous compounding, so we take log, and it is over T times we divide by T. So it is done. It is interesting, it is fun, right? Everything is we learn everything, so you should be able to solve this problem. Of course, I know it is difficult problem. It is Korean actual exam, and it is 20 point, very large. It is a big problem to pass the exam. So it shouldn't be that easy, but in principle, you learned everything to solve this problem. Any question about this problem? This is important. You will learn this kind of stuff again in derivative pricing. It is basically called put option, kind of put option. Insurance is a put option. It pays you when the value of asset decreases significantly. So anyway, it is called derivative pricing, and it is called state pricing. In other words, it is also called state pricing. It is called state pricing because we want to create value of country state by state. When earthquake happens, $100. What is the value of that? When earthquake doesn't happen, it 100. What is price of that? So here we created a contract that pays 100 and only one earthquake. We can create another contract that pays 100 only here and 0 here, right? It is also possible. We can calculate. We can find the value of contract that pays 100 only when earthquake doesn't happen. 0, 100. Then in principle, if we add two contracts, the contracted pays 100 only when earthquake happens. And if we add the value of contracted pays 100 only earthquake doesn't happen, then it becomes risk-free asset, right? That is alternative approach. You already know the answer for this one. Another one is you can get $100 over 0 and calculate it, can't add them more. That's the alternative way. Of course, you have to normalize. You divide by 100, but still the principle is the same. We are replicating insurance with two assets. You will learn this one when you learn derivatives, option pricing later on. Yeah, any question? Yeah. That's a very good question. The point is that probability of earthquake doesn't matter. What? When the most interesting part of this problem is that some people say that, well, it pays $100 only when earthquake happens, then the value of this contract pays $100 only when earthquake happens should depend on the probability of earthquake. That is maybe our common sense, but in practice it is not. The value of a contract that pays $100 only when earthquake happens doesn't depend on the probability of actual earthquake. That's the most important part and interesting part. We can derive some sort of probability similar to that, but which is called the risk neutral probability. Some sort of probability, but that is only remotely, actually almost not related to actual probability. So it is safe in this stage. It is safe to think that, oh, in this kind of problem, surprisingly, we don't have to know the probability of earthquake here. That's the very important part, and that's the beauty of finance. When we make earthquake insurance, we don't have to talk with the scientist, earthquake experts. No, we don't have to do that. We can just check financial contracts, also stock and option and those things. We investigate value of financial contracts in the world, and we are done. We don't need expert opinion of some scientist. We don't need their opinion to evaluate earthquake insurance. No. 이동. 다 됐네. Done. Okay, next. 좀 주위에 있는 사람 알려주세요. 했으면. Next, you go to this file again, and then option again, and you can get the menu option, ribbon, and then click development tool over here. It is German, so I don't know, but
No problem.
development tool. Some developer tool.
I got it.
Okay, it is developer. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Click 리원 사용자 지정 and develop tool. Done. Okay, are you done? And then go to File, Save As, and give any name, like I love you, something like this. Any cheesy name. Important part is that you save it as macro format. macro 사용 통합 문서, macro format. And if you save it, you will have this one, and its extension name is XLSM, right? Not XLSS, right? Again, file, save as, important macro format. The second one, not the first one, second one. XLSM. Okay, done. Yeah. Now go to developer tool newly added menu, and then go to Visual Basic, click. Then you have this one. And then now go to Insert and add module. Then you have this one. It's okay? Perfect, perfect. Is everything okay? Now it seems it's working. 여기는 왜 네이버를 보고 있어요? 엑셀이 없어요? Let's again. Let me go out and then go to Develop Tool, Visual Basic, Add Module. Now, yeah, Visual Basic. Now you can type sub, SUB, and type any name. First program, something like this one. It's this one. You can use any name. And here, you type MSG BOX, message box, and type hello world. Hello world. Okay. Type hello world. And then run, and you'll have something like this one. You'll have a message pop up, hello world. Done. And then Visual Basic and 삽입 module, and type this one. And then run program, then you will get hello world pop up. Okay? 여기 위에 있잖아. play. 네, 여기 하면 돼요. hello world. Hello world. So here you go again. You go to 삽입, this one, and push this button, and over here, and link this program you just create, and then now you create a button. You click this button, it runs program. Okay, so let me delete. Again, you go this one, and then this one, the first one, yeah, this button, and then you can create this button, whatever size you want, and then you connect this one, enter. And then you can actually change the name, right? Name such that execute, and then run, run. It runs the program. Right? Interesting, isn't it? Fun. For many of you, it may be your first time doing programming. Right? So it is kind of programming. You see. Have you ever done programming like this before? So it is compared with Java or MATLAB. It is piece of cake, actually. Well, is everything okay? 다 됐어요? I think it is enough for today, and see you next week. Thank you.